Good morning, everybody. This is the Board of Health meeting for October 22nd, 2019, 10:30 a.m. in room 11 of the Town Hall. We will start with approval of the minutes for September 17th, 2019.
Make a motion to approve?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. New business, tobacco compliance discussion. We just wanted to take we're not going to make any changes, but we'd like to just take a look at them and see if there's anything we think we might consider at another time. Can I go ahead?
No, on statement of purpose all the way down, it says whereas cigars, and it says are available in fruit, candy, alcohol flavors. We didn't put mint in there, is that
Where are you,
necessary?
Joan?
On the first page of the restricting the
The
sale of
last,
tobacco.
like, little paragraph.
Yeah.
Whereas cigars and cigarillos.
No, these are just some of the data that we use to back up our regulations. There's like two and a half pages of them.
Okay, yeah.
That's just one example.
Oh, okay, so we didn't have to put mint in that, whereas further on in the report, we had mint.
Right, like in our
Specifically.
definitions of
Okay.
characterizing flavor.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd just like to say that I think the statistics in here are very real, and we have to go by these statistics in order when we make rulings and governings the town. I think we worked very hard on this packet, and I'd like to keep it the way it is. What do you say?
Yeah, I think the reason why we put it on the agenda was to discuss two things. What our fees were,
Fees.
just to start a discussion, fees, and also our how often we do compliance checks and inspections.
Okay.
With the goal of that, I think we all agree that we need to increase our compliance checks. We've been involved with the Tobacco Collaborative now, which is a regional state-funded group. We were hoping that we would get more frequent compliance checks with that funding, with the regional collaborative funding the compliance checks. We're looking at more like once a year from the region. So I would like to supplement that, and maybe as we look at our future budget, to request additional funding to do more frequent compliance checks. Because we know the more often we do it, the better compliance we get, which is of course our goal. We don't want to catch people selling to underage. Our goal is to have zero sales to underage. And we know the more frequently we do it, the better compliance we have.
Could I ask another question?
Sure.
So our fees are comparable, are they within the range, scale of normal, or are we on the low side, or are we like?
I think we're on the low side, that I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, I would like to,
Thank you.
unfortunately, when you get penalized for doing something that's against the law, and it is, that I think that, and I
It
hate to
should
be
sting
the
a little
the
bit.
harsher, the harsher the sting, the more compliant you're gonna be. So I would like to move forward and maybe, I don't know, today, take a look at the fees, and maybe
Yeah.
vote on it, or research it, or what would be
Yeah, I
our
think-
next step?
I think we should look at what we currently have, and then maybe we can look at what surrounding communities have and see if we are close or need to increase or decrease or whatever. If you go to page 12 of the regulations, it goes over the existing ones.
Right.
So in the case of a first violation, a fine of $100.
No, excuse me, I'd like to go up to 2.
Well, let's go over them all first.
Okay.
Okay. In the case of a second violation within 36 months of the date of the current violation, a fine of $200, and the tobacco sales permit shall be suspended for 7 consecutive business days. So on your second one, you get 200 with a 7-day suspension. Okay. In the case of 3 or more violations within a 36-month period, a fine of $300 and sales permit shall be suspended for 30 consecutive days. And then in 4 is, of 4 violations or repeated egregious violations of this regulation within a 36-month period, the Board of Health shall hold a hearing in accordance with the subsection 4 of this section and may permanently revoke a tobacco product sales permit. So those are the 4 regulations things that we have for violations.
So it's, and I think the point that we should do an analysis and look what neighboring communities have and other regulations is a good idea. It's something we can look at. These are obviously progressive fines. It depends on the violation. For example, if there was a sale to a minor, that's a point in time violation. So that was compliance check we did, there was a sale to Meyer, there was a violation. If they have a violation the next year, it would go to the second tier, 207-day suspension. If it's a violation where we're going in there daily, let's say a tobacco store is selling vape products, which we have restricted to adult only, then that would be, day one would be $100. If they refuse to remove the product, day two would be $200 in a hearing. If they continue, it's progressive. So it's almost like the penalty grows, but it depends on the violation, on how high we go and how quickly we go up the ladder.
This shows how important it is that we have more than one sting, what's the word I'm
Compliance
looking?
check.
Compliance check.
Right.
A year. So this shows us the importance of it. Now, I just wanted to ask, is when it says consecutive business days, are we eliminating Saturday and Sunday? Where it says consecutive business days, the weekends included in this or not included in this?
That's interesting. I would assume the days they're open for business, like if they're closed on Sunday, that wouldn't count.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so,
but I
Most
think
stores are open.
most of them are open
Yeah.
7 days a week.
No, that's a good point. I would think, yeah.
okay.
Do you think that's something that we need to put in there for
I-
7 consecutive business days?
Looking at the definition.
Operation, operating,
Operational business days or?
business operating.
um,
Yeah, it's not exactly defined in our regulations. I can get a clarification on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joni, go ahead, are you done, honey? You done? I'm okay with the days, consecutive days for business, for them closing. I'm not okay with our fees. So I like to say, from the 100, go up to 200. From the 200, go up to 400, and from the 300, go up to 600, and leave the days that the other penalty in place. I know that's a big increase, but so isn't the sale of tobacco to minors. But,
Did you want to wait until we,
yeah, oh, sure, but I just want to let you know
Yeah.
that that's where I feel, I'm
Okay.
comfortable with that. I think,
And this just isn't violation of sale to minors, it's also violation of any of our regulations.
right, okay.
So,
Oh, it is.
yeah. it's-
Okay,
it's
all right.
In violation of any of our particular regulations. So in other words, if they sell a flavor, or if they sell a vape product, if they sell cigars, cigarillos, anything that's not allowed in our regulations, these violations hold true, so.
It's a bit
Go ahead.
much, is that what
on,
you?
on page 5, Segal on the top, very top on coupons, where everybody's using their phones nowadays, it kind of stuck out to me that we have everything from paper and cards and blah, 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 but we don't have electronic. You know how people hold their phones up?
Yeah,
Do we need to
What's
add
that for? What do
electronic?
they-
You
well,
know,
if a coupon comes across on your phone, you can use an electronic coupon,
so
so.
it's not paper, note form, statement, ticket, or anything like that. Do we have
Oh.
to add electronic to that?
It says or issued, distributed for commercial. I mean, it could be an electronic ticket, maybe some clarification that
Yeah.
digital coupon is included in that
Just trying to
definition.
close all the loopholes that somebody, might come up with. And under flavored tobacco product, what does the word indicia mean? A public statement, claim, or indicia? Is that, is supposed to be indication?
I have to admit, a lot of attorney work goes in there, so I can look that
Okay.
word up.
Yeah.
But it's specifically in the definitions, they're very important.
Claim, or I would say indication made.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
you know me and typos.
I know,
Yeah.
I know you.
They stick out. Okay, I just didn't know if that was
Yeah, it
supposed to
might
be
be
a
a typo.
good word or a bad word.
What page was that
I
on
couldn't
file?
find it. Page 5.
I'm just wondering if it's in any of our others the same way.
No, it's not. Not that I saw anyway.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll hold my tongue.
So do we want to make a, do we want to vote on getting?
I think we need more information, and that's something I can present at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, that
I
would
look
be-
I
into
think
what-
that'd be good to see, because I'd like to try and stay comparable to the local towns, even if we go from 100 to 150, if that's what they are, or 200. I agree with you that we need to make a sting to these companies, because I think if it's easy for them to just pay $100 fine.
It's not enough of a sting.
It's not enough of a sting. They probably make that in just the sale of the product alone. So, all right, so do we need to make a vote for that to hold to the next meeting, or just
No, I
for
think that was just
information?
discussion.
Just information, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, as far as the fees, inspections and compliance checks, we had talked and we thought about maybe 4 times a year. So 3 more on top of the one that the state, is it the state that does for
It's a
us?
state-funded collaborative of, I believe, 7 communities.
Or do we want to do 4 of our own and 1 of theirs?
I think it will depend on the budget. I think the more
Okay.
the better. I think once a quarter, it makes sense to me. So maybe 3 in addition to theirs, but
So is that something that you could put into this year's budget, or would it have to wait until next year's budget?
we can see if we can
Depends
find
on
some
what
funds
our
within our
budget
budget
is,
this
yeah.
year, but I would ask for an increase for next year to fund it.
Okay.
And it's only about $500 each time. Depends how many purchases. Yeah, it's not an extreme amount of money. The more purchases you get, the more it is because you have to pay for the product. But yeah, it's around 500 each compliance check. So I think 3 to 4 times a year is definitely doable.
Okay.
So I was asked, I don't know why nobody else gets asked on this board. I walk around town. So if somebody knows that somebody came to me and said they feel that a corner store or a convenient mart is selling vaping products, how do we handle that complaint when I bring it to the board? Somebody asked me, do we send out somebody right away just for the general public to know what is, how do we follow up with that?
Sure, yeah, if we get a complaint and a violation of any of the regulations, we go and do an inspection. Now, if the complaint is that they're selling to underage, that's a really difficult inspection, because, I have to actually witness it. But if they're saying that they're selling vape products, we go in, we go to the store, we search behind the counter, we search in the office, we'll search for the product during the inspection. So depending on what the complaint is,
Okay.
it's
Are
easy.
we restricted to just the front of the store?
No, we can inspect the whole facility.
Whoa.
Yeah, which we do.
Okay, that was another question. Do we just go to where the registers are or something, or do we go to can we go to where they stock the milk or, have their stock?
Yeah, we can go throughout the whole facility.
You're tough, Carol. Yep.
When you listen to the kids that are smoking, the
yeah.
kids that aren't smoking in the school system and everybody else is smoking, it's not fair. And it's not fair to the people that are selling it still illegally.
Yep.
It's jokeable to us. I mean, they think it's nothing. It just has to be conformed to the law. I mean, we did it the correct way. We gave them how many days? 90 days, our merchants? 90 days. Governor gave them 10 minutes. Right? We did,
Well, yeah, I have the information from the.
but
state
we
of
did
emergency.
wonderfully. We gave them time to get it settled, to return their product, to do whatever they did. I mean, to make it work for them. So I'm pretty proud of how we did that back then. Okay.
Okay, moving on. Household hazardous waste fees, public awareness discussion. We were all at Hazardous Waste Day. I think there was a lot of confusion over the $5 a carload for hazardous waste. So I wanted to take a look at our actual fee structure and make sure that the way we have it set up is understandable for, we understand it, but do the common public understand it?
Well, I don't know how you make them understand it any simpler than
It
reading.
says hazardous waste per carload. I think if we put in I know we only have so much space there, but if you let them know, no matter how much hazardous waste you have, it's still $5.
And I think some of the confusion, because technically you could call a TV hazardous waste, but what we're in our mind, we're thinking of the waste that goes to our hazardous waste vendor.
Right.
So I understand definitely the confusion out there.
Right.
I was thinking hazardous waste per carload and put sort of in parentheses, i.e. oil, pesticides,
Right.
so all the stuff that's listed on the top of our newsletter. We sort of tried to we actually drew that line in this year to sort of separate, this is hazardous waste.
Yep.
These are the other things that have fees, but
Right.
when you're in line, you don't have the newsletter with you. You
No.
just get this slip. So
Right.
maybe if we just put a couple examples,
But I was also thinking maybe if we put that blue all over those, I know that
Oh.
just all over all of the things that are underneath it, drain cleaners,
Not a bad
photochemicals.
idea.
highlight those. with blue.
Maybe that would people, when they read this, will see that these are the things that are hazardous waste and not necessarily a TV, you know,
Yeah.
electronics, so on and so forth. It might give them a better understanding of what we mean by the hazardous waste, because a lot of people were confused by it, so. I think,
Yeah, we can work on that.
yeah, maybe just highlighting, I don't know if you can do that, but it might
Yeah, of
help,
course.
just so that they understand it a little bit more. I mean, we tell them when we see them, but sometimes by that time, they're a little unhappy with us, so,
We had a lot of cranky people this year.
yeah.
The other thing is how do we, I don't know if the DPW does it, lets people know that their dump stickers are free. All they have to do is proof of residence. We found that checking IDs was a lot easier when that person had the dump sticker on their vehicle, whereas the people that didn't, and all they have to do is go to the DPW yard, right?
I never stop anybody with a dump sticker. I just say, come on up, and,
Yeah.
but if they don't, I make them stop and take out.
Their license and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. It's on the back of the newsletter, and I know Public Works does advertise that pretty well. But we can sort of help them with that, getting that word out.
Okay.
I know one time we actually had when it first came out, people could get stickers during Hazardous Waste Day, but we're so busy down there.
Oh, I
I'm
can't.
cautious about putting a station like that where people have to stop and pull over and get out of their car. and-
Yeah, no.
How about
I
we use that
agree.
top parking space there to have somebody with dump stickers there next year?
Yeah, we could talk to Public Works
You know,
about it.
Beyond you,
Yes,
because
beyond.
I can't stop that on the street. You gotta
Oh,
go
no,
beyond
no, no.
you.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, that, where that new building is. There's a big parking lot there.
Yes.
In
You know,
front of the
and if you
garage
need a-
doors.
If you need a dump sticker for future use and whatnot, they could pull in there and get out of traffic and then pull back in when they're through getting their sticker. That
Yeah.
might work.
And
I just don't want people getting angry with people pulling out
line.
and pulling back in. That's the only thing.
I mean, maybe we
I'm
just hand them,
concerned about it.
maybe we put it on the back of our fees, is say how to get a dump sticker. So
Yeah,
we-
just-
each person gets one of these when they pull in, just to tell them, sort of
Right.
like a invoice of our fees. We could put on the back of it some information, how to get a dump sticker, something, you know.
My concern would be pulling off into that side
Yeah,
driveway
that's a good point.
and then pulling back in.
Maybe.
I just know that somebody's gonna get upset about, they're pulling in front of me, you know.
Who would,
I can
oh,
handle that, Kathy.
I could hardly handle it on the street.
Yeah.
One
so-
thing I thought, just sort of doing a review of the whole day, was we could probably use some more volunteers. We used to have a
Yeah.
lot more people, and we sort of dwindled down.
Where do we need them?
Down
Down
below.
below?
Down
Down
back,
below.
We
yeah.
were very busy down below running around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We used to have the Boy Scouts at one time would send a troop down.
I'm cautious with kids because it is so dangerous. I mean, people are
With the cars.
driving and not paying attention, and I understand because they don't know where they're going and they're nervous and, you know, what station do I have to stop at? And we always tell them to stay in their cars and stuff, but people get out. So, but I think we have a lot of committees in town, a lot of people that are, you know, volunteering with the community. I think we could reach out and maybe ask for a few more volunteers.
Sometimes at the high school,
Yeah, I
we
was
could
just
get a
gonna say, the
team,
high
a
school.
team, although it's football season, it's hockey season. Yeah, sometimes the kids need
Well,
What-
don't they have to do so many volunteer hours?
yeah, that's what I'm talking
a year?
about. I wonder if we could research that and get them
I
there.
mean, to get them used to it, you might be able, we might partner with them with one of us. Because actually up front, I think, there's a lot of us. Okay, there's 4 of us up front, and I think that, you know, maybe one of us can come down back and partner with a student if that would work, you know?
I think the student can handle it themselves if they're over 15, 16. I mean,
Yeah.
one instruction, you do it once, you do it twice.
Yeah, we've had students in the past and
Not
it
work
hasn't
out?
worked great.
Oh, okay,
just
then.
'cause of
I'm
the-
sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
just because of the safety issue.
Okay, yes, and we've lost some good employees. Yes, so.
So we need
maybe-
old timers.
Yes.
Well, I think just adults that are interested in maybe have environmental concerns or public health concerns and want to volunteer their time.
Right.
So I thought maybe we'd put a call out to a couple committees and
Absolutely,
organizations
then.
in town
Yeah,
and just
sure.
see if we get any hits so that would be for May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good to
It's
me.
only 8 to 11, so it's only 4 hours.
That's what you got to do Saturday morning.
3 hours.
And then you get, 3 hours, sorry. And then you even get a lunch, so.
Yeah, that's true.
There you
We
go.
provide lunch, and you get first in line to drop off your stuff.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, moving on, old business, nurses report. Karen is not here, so,
I'm sure Stacy and I could answer any questions.
Okay.
How are we doing with our flu clinics?
I was gonna report that in my report, just gives numbers, but
Okay.
I can go over it now
No.
if you want. You wanna go over the numbers now?
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
just move it
Just had
along.
them
I'd like to know what we did at that clinic on,
Here it is. So at Saturday's public clinic, we did 195. We have a total so far with all the clinics we've done, about 408.
good?
And the next public clinic will be November 4th,
Where?
6 to 7:30 p.m. here at the Health Department in Town Hall. So that's our
November
typical.
4th.
Yep, that's our typical evening hours, the first Monday of every month. And usually what we do during flu season is also provide vaccines. But it's a blood pressure clinic, and if you need any health department business, we're here. So the first Monday of every month, which in November will be the 4th.
How many do we have left with that clinic? Are we getting close so we can tell them?
We have plenty.
Plenty,
We have
okay.
700 we ordered this year?
Yes.
700. So we've done about 400.
Thank you.
6 to 7:30 on the 4th of November.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any help? Does anybody need help that night?
No, no, thank you.
I didn't see anything out of,
No,
Oh, my good.
out of order.
no,
Um,
that was good.
We currently have an active TV case going on, correct?
They're under direct observed therapy.
Okay.
Yes.
Other than that,
I'm all
I
set with
didn't
that
see, I was
page.
okay with the nurse's report, so. We can move on. Drug-free communities grant program and impact Norwood. Aubrey? Just since we're live, do you want to just let people know who you are?
Oh, sure. I'm Aubrey Ciel. I'm the program director with Impact Norwood. So some exciting things coming up starting tomorrow. After school, Impact Norwood has partnered with the high school to provide students with an after school workshop called Commit to You. It's going to help students reduce their stress and anxiety, how to speak more compassionately to themselves, and give them tangible tools to help manage uncomfortable feelings or situations.
Who's running that? That's wonderful.
We found a community member who has, I forget what her degree is. She has a doctorate in
Okay, good.
psychology or something. And the program, she actually developed the program. It's been tested through Rutgers University. So she's going to be running that. So
So
we're
she's
very
gonna talk
excited.
directly to them. Do they break up in groups or just give them the idea and then how do we resource that and help the kids with that?
So every Wednesday for the next 8 weeks, for an hour after school, it's a hands-on workshop. So we're going to be meeting. I think the last time I spoke to Cindy at the high school, there were 24 students signed up for it, and I will be there. And Cindy, the vice principal of the high school, will also be there, along with the woman who is going to be facilitating the
What time is that
workshops.
tomorrow?
I think it starts at 2:45 to 3:45.
Now,
This is very informative. Excuse me, is it open to the public, their parents? No.
We opened it up to students and staff at the high school. I think there are 1 or 2 staff faculty that also signed up for it. So,
Could we
yeah.
attend it if we'd like?
If you want to come and observe a
love
workshop,
to
you're
hear
more than
what
welcome
she
to.
says.
Yeah.
is there a certain age group that's eligible to go to this?
We were targeting 9 through 12.
9 through 12?
Yep, but we hope to hopefully expand these workshops into the middle school at some point as well.
Great. Now,
That
do
is
they
wonderful.
put this, you know how they have the morning program, the telecast that
Yep.
they have in the morning? Are they repeating this on the telecast? So that
Yeah.
the kids, it will remind, because you know how short their memory span is.
Yeah.
That, you know, you keep reminding them that this is available at this, so
Yep.
they say it more than once is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, at the high school, they handled like all of the marketing, I guess, the advertising for it. And Cindy has a close relationship with a big group of the students that signed up for it, so she's been talking to them and reminding them about it. We capped the number of participants at 25.
Oh.
Just so, too many cooks, it might not be as
Mm-hmm.
effective. So that's why we hope to do more of these in the future, so more students will have the opportunity to participate.
Is it
Okay,
gonna-
and these are free.
Yep.
I just wanted.
Just
to-
informative?
free to the students.
Or, excuse me, just informative or question and answer in that hour?
I'm not sure what
Okay,
the structure
I'm
is
thinking
going to be. I know she has some activities. they're going to be getting tools on how to reduce their stress. So,
I think it's wonderful.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you, Aubrey, that is wonderful.
yeah, we're excited for it. Coming up for the Youth Ambassador Program, just over the next few months, we have some great community partners and other coalition members on Impact Norwood who are going to be doing sessions with our youth ambassadors on public speaking, how to do a PSA. Norwood Community Media is going to come in and do a segment on that. And we also have someone coming in at one point to help with like financial tips and tricks. So that's coming up in the next few months. And then in November, myself and Daryl, the program coordinator for Impact Norwood, we are going to be selecting 3 youth ambassadors to come on the trip to DC with us in February. We are looking for students in grades 7 through 11 who have been active participants on the Youth Ambassador Program. They're going to be writing a short essay explaining why they want to go and what they will do with the information that they learn when they come back. So we'll be selecting 3 students. They'll get a full scholarship from Impact Norwood to attend. Won't be any cost to them.
I was just gonna say,
So-
it's no cost.
Yeah.
So they'll come out of the junior high, these kids?
It's open to,
Oh, 7 to
yeah,
11?
grades 7 to 11, but they have to be active participants on the coalition.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great work, Aubrey.
And
Daryl?
how long is that forum? Do you know?
We would be flying out on a Sunday and returning on Thursday.
Thursday, oh, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much a
Wow.
full week.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So.
That's
about
wonderful
it.
to offer that
Yeah.
and be a part of it. Thank you
Yeah.
both very much.
It
It's
may
a fun
help you
experience.
next year too, is getting more
Yeah.
students
involved.
involved.
Definitely.
If they see that there are other
Amazing.
things involved in it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
good work.
Thank you,
A lot
Aubrey.
of stuff going on.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Aubrey.
Thanks, Daryl.
Oh, Aubrey, before you leave, I just
Yeah.
wanna, you don't have to sit down. I just wanna let everybody know out there, if you have any questions about what's going on at what you're doing, they can feel free to call the town hall and ask for,
Aubrey CL.
and
Oh,
telephone number.
I'm at extension 171, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about email?
It's ACL, at norwoodma.gov. And they can also reach out through our website, which is impactnorwood.org.
Great,
Yeah.
okay, so there's lots of ways to get in touch with you if they have questions
Yep.
that need answering. Okay,
Yep.
wonderful,
Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Food safety reports. We'll do the update list first.
Oh, yeah.
The first one on the list is Boston Market. They, as of 2 weeks ago, are closed permanently.
So I've been told.
Yeah, I guess we could do
So-
them off the list. Yeah.
Really?
Thank you, Angelo.
Okay,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Okay. And then Cedar Market.
Cedar Market, they do have a new pest control company that's servicing the facility weekly. I went there for a reinspection last week. They are keeping up with sanitation in areas that were noted on the previous report.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting for copies of their last 2 recent inspection reports, or service reports from the pest control company.
Okay.
And did they hire that new person that they said was gonna keep in touch with all the problems that they were having?
They're doing internal cleaners in the facility. They did not hire an outside cleaning company. They
No, but
decided to keep it in-house.
they were gonna hire someone to make sure that the cleaning was done from the last report, right?
I don't
I
remember
think we
that.
had discussed getting a company to come in on a regular basis to do deep cleaning. They looked at it and they discussed it with us, and they're gonna try and do it internally.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
From what Angela and I have discussed, they have done a deep cleaning.
Correct.
And it's now about, they need to maintain that and keep up with it.
Right.
Okay, okay.
We could take them off the list?
Yes.
Thank you.
At the last meeting, we talked about them having a new pest control company,
Right.
which
And
we're
they
waiting
have-
for. And they do, correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Norwood Center Pizza and Grill.
Yes, I did receive a copy of the food manager certificate, and several days later, our office learned that they have been closed. It's not, it's just temporarily. I guess the owner's going through some issues, so
Okay.
told the other partner to give us a call, give our office a call. I need to do an inspection of the facility before they reopen.
Where was that?
It's the old Sokos,
It's also
correct?
correct.
Oh, okay, did see, yeah, okay, thank you.
I had heard that.
Hmm.
But it's not closed permanently?
Correct.
It's just on a temporary
Correct.
basis? Okay.
And they cannot reopen without
No, no.
being inspected first.
Okay, good. All right, and then Convenience Food Mart.
Yes, I did review their most recent pest control report. No activity, no catches. They're continuing with their monthly service. Hopefully no further action necessary at this point. We
Okay.
can take them off the
You
list.
can take them off?
Yeah, we can keep Norwood Center Pizza and Grill on.
We'll keep them on
Correct,
until
yes.
we know whether
Exactly.
they're gonna stay open or permanently closed, okay. All right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a whole bunch that I think should be on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll just go to the new food establishment list.
Norwood Mobile has opened as of 2 weeks ago. They have a temporary certificate of occupancy to the building department.
That's the one on Route 1?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. On the bottom there, Ernie's Cafe, they were permitted yesterday. Just a new ownership that took over the business.
Okay,
Daddy's Dairy opened end of
The
last week, I believe,
yeah.
so. did
Oh, it's
Friday,
Friday.
yeah, Friday,
Okay.
correct. And the other establishments are still
well,
pending.
still pending.
Did we have a time limit? I think I asked this before. Do we have a time limit on when they take the permit out? If we don't see a business or they come in for inspection, do we call them? Do we follow along with what has happened?
I thought we said a year,
thought-
didn't
yeah.
we say
Yeah.
a year?
I thought we'd done it to 6 months.
6 months, I was
So
gonna say
in our
6
old,
months.
in our old process, we didn't, when we redid the plan review process, we did put a statement in there, say that this will only be valid for 6 months, if
Yeah.
not, they have to reapply. So some of these actually have been sitting here for a while. If they're in communication with us, we do check in with them, and they say, yes, we're still working on it, we're obviously not gonna make them go through the process again. But
Okay.
if they sort of disappear and we don't hear
Yeah.
from them for 3, 4, 5, 6 months,
Okay.
we sort of close it, because we keep things, it was sitting there for years.
So Sheffin and Eaton hasn't gotten back to you?
They have been in contact with us. They are having some issues with National Grid.
Oh.
So, with the building itself. So they have been in contact. They are still,
Thank
moving
you.
forward. But it is extra delays that they weren't anticipating, but they have been in contact with us. They usually call us about monthly to keep it up.
Okay.
And they had spoke to Angelo just last week, so. they're
Thank
in
you.
the process.
Process, thank you.
I just wanna ask about the, Boston Tavern.
I spoke to the owner about a month ago. They're a little behind schedule. Delivering maybe towards the end of the year,
End of the year?
possibly January.
Okay.
A spot is still on schedule, I believe March of next year.
March. Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Big,
he had to
big
do
property.
huge
I went by there
transitions
the other
and
day.
yeah,
They're still, yeah, a long way to go. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's Manoslawi's?
Solace.
Minnesota's?
Next to Giorgio's Pizza on Washington.
delicious.
Oh, where the other one, so this Chieftain store, Giorgio's, and then this lot.
Mhm.
And what kind of restaurant will that be?
Believe Middle Eastern cuisine.
Okay,
You're taking over the town. Thank you.
okay.
Okay.
We got
Thanks,
another mobile coming up? The Fire Wagon Pizza Company?
No, they're a mobile truck?
That's what I'm saying,
Oh,
we have
okay,
another
just-
truck
Okay.
coming into town?
Yep, we reached out to them, we haven't heard back.
Yeah, we didn't hear back after our last email,
Last
so we're
email.
not sure. That's why we were trying to wait and see, to see if they're moving forward or if we're gonna remove them permanently.
Okay.
Okay. All right, on to the inspection report. This is from September 9th to October 11th. And,
I'll try and be brief.
okay, can I let Angelo tell me which
Sure.
ones he thinks might be of importance
I
to
think
us?
that's a great pen to follow.
Let's see here. I actually did most of the schools this round.
Okay.
They all did very well, very
Good.
compliant.
Excellent.
So I just
Good
wanted to give them,
idea.
have to mention them as well. There are a couple of facilities here that are going to be re-inspected, and their information will be on the next report for the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see
Anybody out of this whole list that you
Yeah.
have real concerns about?
I'd like to put crushed peppers on the list
Yep.
Okay,
for the re-inspection on the 14th.
okay. That was one of
D&G.
mine.
Let's see. Yes, D&G had an improper hot holding violation, which was corrected on site. So I don't think any further action is necessary
Okay.
at this
Okay.
point with that.
Um,
Let's see.
else that you were concerned about?
Sabs.
Don't want to page that?
11 of 12. I cut my report short this month.
Yeah. Page 11.
Yeah.
Page 11 of 12.
Yes. Did the reinspection last week. They have corrected most of the issues on that report. No further action necessary. I believe they're going through a process of selling the business as well.
Okay.
So, but they did correct all the violations from the routine inspection.
Okay, you think we
So-
should keep it on the list to keep them on the straight and narrow there for a while?
I think we,
No?
no,
Okay.
we take them off. We take them
And
off
how
the
about
report.
Broadway Pizza and Grill? That's the last one.
Yes, the 18th. Inspection. We inspected on the 18th. They corrected all the issues. Yeah, they received a written warning
Okay.
for contact, beer and contact ready to eat food. So they did receive a warning for that. It's the first time I've seen that there.
Okay.
But I don't think any further action is necessary.
No
You don't
list?
think we need to
No,
put
I
them
don't
on the
think so.
list? Okay.
Okay.
The owner was there. The cook was actually the driver. He just needs to be retrained. He's gonna be cooking.
Cooking and driving.
Driving.
Okay. And the last one I had was Coastal Donuts on page 2. You know, some of these people have been in business a long time, that's not necessary to.
I can follow up with them regarding that, the water filters.
Yeah,
They do replace them, they just forget to either attach a record or invoice,
okay.
or put a date on the filter when they last changed it. So I can reach out to Jason and ask him, and I can add it to the report
Okay.
for next time.
Karen, do you have
No,
anybody
that
you were-
was questioning one that
Um,
Sobs that he already spoke about. Thank you.
The only one I was concerned about was the Latino food market,
Page?
page
10 of 12?
10 of 12, yeah.
So, I did go back for the reinspection.
Yeah.
Okay,
They correct all the issues. They repaired the refrigerator, which had the numerous foods held out of compliance.
Okay.
Compliance, which they did discard at the routine inspection. No further action necessary.
You're okay?
The owner was there, the person in
Okay.
charge was there,
Okay,
so,
that's good with me.
Thank you, Angelo.
How often do we inspect an engine?
I think twice a year, every 6 months.
I don't know, they should be able to go 3 times?
I don't think so.
No?
They have a pretty good history except for this one, so.
Okay. All right, so, thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Angelo.
We're on to the director's report.
Sure, I just wanted to summarize, we talked a little bit about the fees at Hazardous Waste Day, but just want you guys to see total what we collected this past September. Definitely our fees were up and our car numbers were up, so it was a busy day, just like we all felt, I think, that day.
Yeah.
We had 395 cars come in,
Wow.
which you can see, I put the last 3 events was higher than the last 3. We usually, do anywhere from 350 to 400, 400 being on the high end, obviously. So I think that was a success. I think, like always, we have little things we can tweak here and there to try and make it better. We always try something new each time.
And I do have to say that as many of the people that grumble through the list, through the line, there are a lot of people who are very gracious and thankful that we do this service for them. So it really makes a difference.
And we're fortunate enough to do it twice a year.
Yeah,
It's pretty rare in
they're very good
communities.
about it.
Yeah.
They're very good about saying, thank you for doing this.
I think it helps to do it the 2 days, because if we're seeing, 300 to 400 each time in May and in September,
It's a lot of stuff.
it's a lot of stuff, and if we did just one day, 3 hours wouldn't be enough to handle over 600 to 800 cars. And so I like having the 2 days. I think that's a good idea, to keep that.
We also talked earlier about the flu clinic, so nothing more to add there.
Okay.
I wanted just to update the board. We've been enforcing the governor's declaration and the public health emergency on the vaping products ban. We've had a couple complaints and we've been able to get out to some of our stores to enforce it. But because of our regulations that already restricted actually 10 days, our effective date was 10 days before the governor's declaration, it was mainly already removed from many of our stores.
Good.
Okay, well, that's good.
And I did put copies of the forms from the state in a press release if you have any questions about it.
And I think that it worked out well again because it's a universal, that everybody except an adult vape shop, that all the vendors finally came to somewhat of agreements that that's the correct way to do it. And not have, keep one store open and one not.
Right, I mean, at this point, it's not anywhere.
No, it's
banned
not anywhere,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
But that's obviously because of the governor's declaration.
that's right.
Okay. The only question I had, Sagal, was the Mass Community Health Fund grant. Was that something that we applied for, or we're going to apply for, or?
Yeah, it's called an inquiry of ideas, so it was sort of like a pre-application process. So we submit a letter, and, I mean, it was a 5-page document. It was just like an application to see if our idea was something that they would want to fund.
Oh, good.
And there were 3 different categories, and the one that we applied for was policy, systems, and environmental change. And I submitted the application. Really, it started with Impact Norwood and the youth program that Aubrey talked about earlier. One of our big barriers we kept hitting about youth getting there was transportation, whether it be after school or from middle school to the high school. And then talking to our other community partners and other departments, it really came to a head that this is really an issue in so many different ways. So thinking about how transportation affects your health and health equity. So that was sort of the policy and environmental change idea I wrote about.
Good, okay, thank you.
I have one more question. The vape store downtown, is that an adult vape store? Somebody asked me, and I didn't
Yes.
want to. It is, so
Yes,
that
one
is
of-
still open across.
Yes, but they cannot sell vape products.
Right, they
can
can't sell vape,
tobacco
but that is
products.
still up, open.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's the only one we have in town, so everybody, we just have one.
Yeah, they open and they hold a permit. I don't think they're very open very much as far as
No,
to
but that's still,
physically
yes.
open to the public. They do have a current permit and they open every once in a while.
And just tobacco flavored
Just
products.
tobacco.
Yep.
Okay.
And no other applications have come in for another adult.
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Sagal.
Okay, board's agenda. Carolyn, you have anything?
No, thank you.
No?
All set?
Okay. And I don't have anything. I think we discussed everything.
Okay.
We'll just go on. Our next meetings are November 20th at 10 a.m. and December 17th at 10:30 a.m. And we'll now be going into an executive session. And the purpose of this is to discuss strategy with respect to the pending litigation regarding the case Suresh Inc. DBA Quick Stop et al. v. Kathleen F. Bishop et al. Regarding regulation of the Norwood Board of Health restricting the sale of tobacco products. Deliberating during open session would have a detrimental effect on the pending litigation, and we will just return just to adjourn from executive session.
I think we will adjourn in executive
In
session.
executive session, okay? Meeting is
Yeah,
recorded.
in the beginning, you have to say the meeting is being
Okay.
recorded.
Well, this meeting has actually been live recorded.
Right.
So, we'll have a vote by roll call to enter executive session.
Make a motion, we go into executive session?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're in the executive session
Thank you.
as of now.